Welcome to Lynn Cullen Live, talk radio without the static. Email your questions and comments to Lynn at pghcitypaper.com. And now your host, Lynn Cullen.
Oh, now am I on? So I wasn't on before. I don't know what's happening. I didn't hear the beep. Hi, if that's in fact the first time you're hearing me, I don't know. It's October 5th. The call in studio is not working. What does that mean?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, Susan.
Okay, what it means is that the show started and there was nothing. We didn't hear anything until you said, "Oh, I'm on." I'm guessing that the studio can hear you now.
Yes. Yeah, you are absolutely correct. I was saying, yeah. So, you know how if you're on hold, like Susan and I both are before the show starts, you hear this beep telling you you're on. And I heard the introduction to the show. And so I just started, and then I realized I never heard a beep. And I was still yapping away, and then I heard the beep, which is when then you heard me. Right. So whatever.
You heard my beep.
Yeah, okay. Is that what I heard?
Yeah,
so
you heard my beep.
It was an inauspicious start.
Yeah, because from my end, here's what I was thinking. Oh.
Yeah, right. Something ain't right.
Hey, this is wrong.
Okay, but here we are. So the ship has been righted, and here we are. It's again, just to set things in. I think I said this, but you didn't hear it. It's October 5th, in case anyone's wondering. And, oh, God. Susan, I got a heads up to everybody. I got nothing here that is even remotely light.
Oh, great.
Well,
I don't either. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. And, you know, I was thinking someday we just have to go through the paper on air, you know, and just read the headline so that people understand. It's not like I'm going out of my way to find miserable topics.
No, but you can find better miserable topics than lesser. Like, we could note Todd Aikens passing.
Yes. In fact, I wanted to. Todd Aikens, ladies and gentlemen, former congressman.
May he rest in peace.
Yes, really. He was your congressman in St. Louis.
He was.
Yeah, Todd Aikens, who famously shot himself in the foot while attempting to get into the Senate by talking about the fact that if it was a legitimate rape that occurred, that a woman's body has a way to try to shut that whole thing down. What he was saying that. Women don't need exemptions for.
And if that woman got pregnant, she wasn't raped.
No, because right. Well, here's what he says. No, then I saw this other part that I didn't remember in the New York Times obit for him. It says, so what if, in fact, a woman does get raped, a legitimate rape, and her body screws up and doesn't shut that thing down and actually makes a baby? Well, he said, let's assume that maybe that didn't work or something. I think there should be some punishment, but the punishment ought to be of the rapist and not attacking the child. And as I read that, I thought, what is he leaving out of this? There's no talk of the woman who's pregnant.
No, they never talk of the woman.
The woman is there's two. He sees two people. We gotta punish somebody.
No, you cannot. You can never make forced birthers discuss the woman, because in their view, the minute there is an embryo implanted, that woman loses all rights, ceases to exist, and is merely an incubator to the far more important life inside her. And how this makes sense to them, that they get to cancel out one life in
another
order to
that's unproven, and I don't understand.
Right. I mean, she just ceases to exist because the culture doesn't give two whiffs about women.
Women. Right.
Culturally, that's the view.
Right. Right. Speaking of all the horrors in the paper, there was this story I read thinking, I wonder if this is interesting. It wasn't, but it was about why, what's with the Taliban and what's in it for them to make war essentially on women. Why do they do it? What is the purpose? And I mean, I'm thinking, what are they going to say? What is the purpose? And it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo.
They'll do some, God's will sort of stuff.
Well, I don't even even the Quran and all that, it came more into patrilineal, that everything was based on this patriarchy. And in a patriarchy, a woman's honor becomes extremely important. And so in order to ensure a woman's honor for the men in the family, the women have to be essentially imprisoned.
Okay, well, so you can come up with that argument, and here's today's argument. I'll tell you why they went right back to where they were. They went right back to where they were because if they didn't, all those women now free were going to turn around and exact revenge. They're putting them away so that they won't take over, and they won't punish the men that deserve to be punished.
Well, another unhappy thing that's happening over there.
I mean, they are raping them and all that sort of stuff. It's not, it's not all you can't go to school stuff.
No, they're being attacked there. It's horrific. As one would have predicted, this idea that they were somehow a new Taliban is absurd.
Or they wouldn't put the women right back where they wanted them. And let that be a lesson to the women of the United States today, because they're trying to put us back right where they want us. And make no mistake.
Yeah. Although, Susan, you have to remember that the female body has ways to try to shut that whole thing down. Yeah. We are extremely powerful people. I have to tell you.
Yep.
Because, if you're legitimately raped, unbelievable. All right, so Todd Aikens dead. Just want to say. I did. Yep. I noted it, of course. I don't want to say I took any pleasure in someone's demise.
No, but if we're discussing sad and bad news, I thought we could bring up, we could triage it.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
We could discuss the fact that for some reason I seem to be hungover today. I don't feel well. How are you?
I'm fine, Susan. Are you hungover? Where are you?
I don't know what I am. I mean,
you just don't feel well. You gotta. I felt like that yesterday. Actually, woke up sort of queasy and miserable.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I went out and had a great time or did anything different than I ever do. That doesn't have anything to do with anything.
Who knows? Who knows?
Anyway, okay, sorry. So, I decided to complain as long as we were having that kind of a day. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
All right. Okay, that's okay. You're starting to notice it, and that's good. But we're going to tally today. That's one.
You sound like my effing trainer.
Okay, back to women, though. Back to women. I came upon this. This'll get you. aroused. This is from the Lancet, which is a medical journal, right? British Medical Journal. They posted published, actually.
Yeah, it's their version
article
of the New England Journal of Medicine. It's called the
Lancet. That is correct.
Right, go ahead.
Right.
There you
did it. Anybody, we should have we should have a lottery. Anybody want to say what do you think the final tally will be here? And she's even thinking about it now.
And the prize will be that I won't come to dinner.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
We are going to attempt the unbelievable. That's 3. Shit. Okay, just sort of bite your tongue for a second here, okay? The Lancet published an article on menstruation, okay, because we're still in the women thing. Menstruation. And it was specifically about problems that women endure during menstruation. And the thing is, the way the Lancet put it was, this was an article about the menstruation problems afflicting bodies with vaginas.
Oh, we can't say women.
No, apparently we cannot. This entire effing article in a medical journal, respected medical journal, managed to do an entire thing on menstruation and didn't use the word woman.
Yeah, because I'd like to come up with a different. I'd like to come up with a word for our people. Okay, that is not a word derived of man.
Man, right. Well, Susan,
okay, I don't want to be a woe man. Woe is me, and I don't want to be a female.
That is correct. Good for you. But you do know, Susan, we were created.
You know what I'll be? I'll be a bitch. I'm just going to be.
Adam Rib. We are a derivation.
No, I'm a bitch. I'm going to be a bitch or a ewe. I don't want to be a cow. I'll be a ewe.
A ewe? Oh,
in EWE.
Yeah. Or a. Hang on. There's got to be a better. A mare?
A mare?
That sounds nicer than you. A mare. What are some female, I don't know. You don't want to be a hen because you'd be hen-pecked, right? Any female thing you ends up being a negative.
That's right.
Hen-pecked.
That's correct.
Okay, so here, all hell broke loose. I mean, women just pissed off at the Lancet. So what the hell? How can you do an entire article on menstruation and never mention the word?
No, well, that's what I was trying to say.
Women have been reduced to bodies with vaginas. Bodies with vaginas.
The fact that there is such a thing as a trans woman does not mean that there isn't such a thing as a woman.
That is correct.
And this attempt to try and pretend that you're going to, you couldn't disappear us one way or another. Now you'll disappear us this way. No, we are us. Us are we. We might go over, a spectrum, as it were, but the vast majority of us.
The vast
majority of people menstruating are women. And if you can find me a man that is menstruating, good.
Okay. So there you go. I just want to say bodies with fucking vaginas. Here's a canceling of women.
Well, we can call men bodies with dicks.
Oh, but they'll like that. They'll like that. No, I don't want. No.
Or if for Trump, bodies with toadstools.
All right, Susan.
Well, didn't he call someone to testify? Oh, that was in that book.
Yes. It was Stormy Daniels herself who said that his penis looked like a toadstool. For that matter, a lot of penises look like toadstools, don't they? Why did we? I mean, let's not get into this. I have to tell you, I haven't seen one in a long time. It's okay.
You know, me either. Well, I got a grandson.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't count, those little cute little things. Okay. So, body.
Go ahead. This is a terrible day that we're having.
She said, no. Okay, she said, go ahead. You didn't even hear it.
Oh, four.
Okay. So, Susan, bodies with vagina. Remember, it was like a few weeks ago that the derivation of the word vagina is a scabbard that holds a saber.
Right. Obviously.
Ladies, how do you see your position in the world here? Are you starting to note the environment you grew up in as a mere derivative?
Yes. You are merely a scabbard around which all of this other stuff was placed to distract from the scabbard-like nature of your body.
You know what? I heard, Susan, that the YWCA is changing to the YBWVCA, the Young Bodies with Vaginas.
I think that's a fine idea.
Yeah. But what I was attempting to say was that this silencing, this cancellation of our very gender, of more than half the population of the effing globe,
now,
is coming not. Wait. It's coming not from the right, not coming from the likes of Todd Aikens. It's coming from the left, is it not?
No, I don't even think that's true. I think the left is just as irritating. I think it's coming from people.
No, it's coming from
people trying to. I don't think it's. I think it's more passively aggressive than you think it is. I think it's coming to discredit everybody and to keep it the way it was by making it so ridiculous, by refusing to understand it or use any thought in the way it's applied. Yes, that's what I think. I think it's a bunch of men sitting around not being able to figure out how to do this. Because I think it's disrespectful to everybody, absolutely everybody. It misrepresents everybody's feelings and wishes by making them appear ridiculous.
Well, but I'm sorry. I think some of this gets into an area where it's easy to be made to look ridiculous. And I'll start with the LGBTQI LMNOP thing. That comes from that. It's ripe for that because, of course, sexuality being as complicated as it is, those letters are endless.
That's right.
Everybody can have their own little friggin' category. I remember,
Lynn, you could just think of it as a it's an IQ test. It's a memory test. Every year we'll add another letter and we'll see if you can remember them.
I know. And I've noticed that the more woke articles and that it is more than LGBTQI. Now, there is something else on there. I forget what. I'm sick of it. I am sick of the.
I think it's ISH.
Oh, fuck it. You mean ish. LGBTQ-ish.
Ish.
That's okay. I'll take that.
I think that in this case, that means et cetera. I think that's fine.
That means that's right. That means it's just,
It's a
your letter
spectrum.
and on you go. That's right. That's right. I remember our mom saying, there's billions, hundreds of billions of people in the world, and there's hundreds of billions of different sexualities, that it's so individual, clearly. So she was right, and you can't start atomizing it down to this absurd point. So here you have the Lancet trying to be woke. And when they put out this menstruation article about, bodies with vaginas, the editor defended the omission of the word woman. He, Richard Horton, said it was a well-meaning attempt to achieve maximum inclusivity of all people. Well, how wonderful. And in trying to do maximum inclusivity, you lost the largest demographic of humanity.
You just disappeared them.
Women.
Right. And how hard is it
vaginas?
How hard is it to say women and trans men?
Yeah. But I bet you're thinking, I bet there's some other outlier out there that could also apply. I hate to tell you that. More than a trans man, there's got to be something. We keep learning stuff. I don't know. I'm just saying, one way or the other, ladies, you're going to be canceled.
They're working very, 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 very hard on it. They'll do it any way they can think of it. But legislatively right now is this most serious one. The legislative one is the most serious one, where our states are going to be one after another passing laws that say once pregnant, we cease to exist or have any constitutional rights, and all of them flow to the embryo.
That's right. Yay, embryos! Boo, bodies with vaginas! Uplift feti! Down with women with vaginas! I say women with vaginas?
Yeah, that's wrong. Boy.
That was incorrect. Totally. So, guess who was here last night? And I was not. I mean, I was here.
Mick Jagger?
Yeah, the Stones. So I'm waiting for, I've got some workers doing some work here, and they don't come till after the show because they don't want to make noise. Meanwhile, my next door neighbor's got a jackhammer going literally 10 feet from me right now. So that seems all silly. But one of these guys was so excited because he was going to the Stones concert. I can't wait to get a blow-by-blow description. So,
well, he was in St. Louis first. The concert started in St. Louis, and there were sightings of him all over town.
Yeah,
dressed as a St. Louisan, and one of my friends actually snapped a picture of him being dressed as a St. Louisan, and I got to say he was doing a very good job of it. He was at the arch, at the base of the arch, with his standing in front of it, touristy, going, "This is me at the arch," in a bucket hat and like a red lumpy shirt tucked into some like painter's pants and brown shoes. I mean, you would not have noticed that. You would not have known it was Mick Jagger unless you looked way under that hat. He looked like everybody else.
You would have thought it was a frail old man.
A little old man that maybe you should slip him a buck.
Yeah, or give him some food.
Right.
I mean, he can't weigh more than 105 pounds. I mean, just help the guy.
Well, I think this person was actually tailing him because she reported him later at the art museum.
I guess she was. She was stalking him. Well, I don't know where he's going to show up in Pittsburgh or where he did. But,
well, he has fun. He eats and he goes out and has fun and sees the town, enjoys the town. Yeah.
Well, remember when Tom Sokolowski, who used to be on the show all the time, former head of the Warhol Museum, had a wonderful story of the Stones coming over to the museum. And this was at a time when it was normally not open, so he just let them in. And they went into this one room that has all these sort of balloon-like things I don't know how to describe it, and how they were just playing and having a wonderful time. But so Tom got to comport with them at the museum.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not going to see him ever again. I've decided that. I decided it when I didn't get tickets to this, because I just saw I've been there, done that. They put on an incredible show, but I'm
not ready to sit in a crowd of screaming people right now.
Even if they're outdoors? No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think I'm
traumatized.
I think we are more, reticent than most people. I think we maybe should ease it up a little bit, but I don't know. Anyway, I got a complaint. What is this thing? All of a sudden, I swear to God, the news media have decided that the Democrats consist of moderates and progressives. And the moderates are like Manchin and Sinema. Those are moderates. Those are not, but that's what the news is calling them. I've seen the report after report, even though I say I don't watch any television.
Well, you can't even call Sinema she was
Democrat.
She's not a Democrat. She just got elected under. She just lied her way into office and won't even talk to her constituents.
No, you know what she is? She's a body with a vagina.
Well, maybe.
Yes. No, she is. Although she loves to parade around that she's a body with a vagina who's bisexual and has different color hair every day. And look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, and wears the most outrageously awful clothes you have ever seen on any. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. This woman is she might be on the narcissist scale up there with Donald Trump.
Well, you are describing a narcissistic personality disorder, and they're most unpleasant people.
Yeah. She's just playing, and she's having a fine time and drawing attention to herself and not doing her job.
No,
and
she's totally stoned on her own adrenaline. I mean, you get high.
Yeah, she is like one messed up cookie. Okay. Oh, here's something funny. Who dug this up? Michelle Goldberg. In another iteration, Kyrsten Sinema, back when, I don't know who was, 2003. Okay, 2003, Kyrsten Sinema organized a protest outside a Tucson hotel because Democratic Senator, in name only, Joe Lieberman had come to town, and he was campaigning for, I don't know, somebody. And Kyrsten Sinema was quoted as the organizer of this rally against him. He is a shame to Democrats. He seems to want to get Republicans voting for him. What kind of strategy is that? Well, I sure wish the current iteration of Kyrsten, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, Sinema. Isn't that weird? Her name is Sinema, like a movie. She's in her own
No,
movie.
it really is. And when you were saying her name and mispronouncing it, I was going, why are we talking about Christian movies?
Christian Sinema. Yes, that's where she's headed.
I mean, my head really, I had to reel my head back and replay that in my brain.
Did you see that Pat Robertson is finally hanging?
Yes.
Maybe Kyrsten Sinema could take over.
Watch, she'll change her name if it helps.
Oh, dear.
It could be a weird kind of porn star name too.
Well, I can see she could also become a porn star. I mean, you put the look at me. I'll never. I mean, the whole thing of her famous, totally screwing all the poor, hardworking minimum wage workers of the country with her famous thumbs down vote against the $15 minimum wage, where she sashayed, I kid you not, sashayed up to the front of the Senate, and then sort of with a curtsy and her thumb down made her vote, and then turned around and flounced out. She is effing pathetic. All right. She's so replaced Manchin in my.
I know she makes him look, like
she makes him look good,
like he's trying so hard to reach a deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he's actually, he is involved. She refuses to even be involved.
No,
she does. Nobody even knows why she's against anything that she's against.
Right, and nobody knows what she wants. Nobody knows what she wants. I mean,
because she won't tell anybody.
No,
how is
you're
that
supposed to guess.
Oh, God.
Well, that's how you stay in the spotlight longer. You guess wrong. You guess wrong.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, so as we speak, we are missing, although we'll find out later, the testimony of Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen, who is right now testifying before a Senate committee. And you couldn't make up the fact that Facebook went down yesterday, right as it's, in the crosshairs of these leaked documents about what's really going on at Facebook, and then it crashes on top of it. So you gotta love it. By the way, I decided Mark Zuckerberg is not human. I don't think he's totally
he never
human.
was. I mean,
no,
just from
look at him.
Well, the initial inception of Facebook was, sort of the takeoff on mean guys trolling for girls, in college. It just was. And then he stole it from the people that helped him develop. I mean, there was never this. He's just a guy that got way too rich, way too fast, and he was unformed and unethical when it started. Why would we think he would grow?
No, he's.
Why should he grow?
I have to tell you, I was looking at him talking the other day. It was something where there he was talking, and what freaked me out is how he really does appear. If somebody had said, "This is our latest iteration," if I say iteration one more time, we're going to start.
We'll start counting.
Yeah. I'm going to say it again because I can't think of the other word I could use. What's another? The latest. If you said, this is our latest model for AI robot. Look at this. Isn't this lifelike? Well, you'd say, yeah, it is, but there's something missing. Some animating thing that is probably a human soul. You don't see it. He seems robotic and doesn't seem quite human. His speech, his face, the lack of any animation. I am not kidding you. Look at it.
No, it's like Jared Kushner. It's sort of the same. it's the same thing. And I'll tell you, part of it's probably Botox. But,
Kushner it is.
Well, with Kushner, it's so much surgery that, the poor guy's got his tush on his face at this point. I don't know why I brought him up. I mean, I'd been so happy not thinking of him. But it is that saying, you're looking for a real human being. That's what I'm saying. There was no human being formed when he began, and he got so much reward for not being formed. Why the hell should he get formed?
No, there's no reason to.
And that woman that he hired to be his conscience ain't doing so good either, Ms. Lean In Sandberg.
No. The whole corporate culture there is sick and toxic. And it's exactly what this whistleblower has shown us. The fact that they knew that, in just one instance, this is one little thing she can cover, they knew that adolescent girls, a lot of them, let's say millions, were being harmed by their product. And
yes, says Facebook, but 99 million aren't. That was their response.
Well, I got to tell you, they are. So anyway, here, I want to share just a little bit with you, because the fact that they crashed, I don't give a shit. I am not on Facebook. Well, I know the show is, but I'm not. As a matter of fact, I can't even get on my own Facebook thing because I don't know what the password is. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on WhatsApp. I'm not on any of those things. And, but apparently when they all went down yesterday, there were people all over the world who were literally in a panic. And the reason being is their livelihoods are on there.
Yeah, they're ripping you off through ads. I am proud to say I didn't know about it till I read about it.
Yeah, no, I did not either. But here's something I didn't realize. You know how sometimes, I don't understand anything, but yeah, I'm going to play a little game on my phone. And the first thing it says is, do you want to open it in Facebook? And I always think, what? Why would I open? I can open it right. Why? So I go on. Turns out a lot of people answer that question yes. And so when Facebook went down, a lot of people couldn't even turn their televisions on. They couldn't sign into their smart TVs. They couldn't, in their smart homes, couldn't get their thermostats to change. And so I think the smartest people in the world would eschew, God bless you,
get out of my head,
would eschew, I love that word. I know. This like less than subtle push that we're all getting to make ourselves more and more dependent on these gizmos. Your house should be dependent. And so when it goes down, when the big guy goes down like this, you maybe can't open your garage door. You can't get out of your effing house.
Well, that would suggest that you got a house that was smarter than you. And you should never have. Yes, but you should never have things around you that are smarter, that are not within your control, that are smarter than you.
What's that animated movie I saw not too long ago where that's exactly what happens? All the things with chips in them turn on the people. All the things. What is that movie? It was great.
No, I don't watch movies like that because I like to sleep.
But stop it. Yeah, but it was wonderful. Wonderful. So people who, I was at somewhat of a dinner party the other night, and my hostess said at one point, Alexa, play, or she asked, Alexa, what? And I had a drink or two, I admit. And I wasn't thinking. I just screamed out, Alexa, fuck you.
Did Alexa say that's not polite?
No, she didn't, but my host looked at me with such shock and said, for God's sake. And I think all the other people were looking at me like, what the hell?
Oh, well, did you had one of your noisy explosions at a polite event, did you?
Yes, I did. One of my
but they don't they know you?
Yes, no, but I guess that one was even too much for them. I mean, my animus to talking and giving a name to. I mean, and I think the host seemed to be jumping to. My sense was it was jumping to Alexa's defense. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. Did I hurt her? You know, where we ascribe emotion to these things that are
See, what gets me about those
that
things
we name.
Doesn't it bother doesn't it bother them that they're listening to them all the time? I mean,
I guess not.
When my, like telephone inadvertently hops into a conversation, and says, "Excuse me, were you, the answer to that?" And I'll say, "Go away, who asked you?" Oh no, that happens every once in a while. It did yell at me once.
I turned off the minute I got a smartphone. What's on a smartphone? Is it Alexa or Siri or whatever the hell it is?
Or Siri, yeah.
I shut her up.
Well, I turned her into a man because I preferred.
You wanted the voice of authority?
No, I wanted to order the man around. I wanted to, have a male secretary. Actually, that is why I did it.
Okay,
I wanted to have a male secretary. So anyway, but I did say something to Mother about sexism, and my male secretary said to me, "I don't think that was called for." And my mother looks at me and says, "Did that phone just respond?" I said, "Yes," and it was actually quite clever. I like my male secretary.
No. I am telling all of you. I'm going to sound like Howard Beale in Network.
No, I actually did turn it off because it never worked when I wanted to, and it's only listening to me, and spying on me. So I turn it off. And I don't. And when I got the Alexa for my son, I said, "You aren't going to keep that on, are you?" Because he has small children who never saw screens and all that sort of stuff. Then the pandemic occurred, and now I got a 3-year-old that goes, "Alexa, play Frozen."
Oh, Jesus, I can't stand it. I know, but I can't stand it. Hey, is that caller still there? Kevin, I'm sorry. I just saw we had a caller. They've been moldering there for a half hour. If you're there.
Hey, it's Mary from Murraysville. Back from the Rolling Stones concert. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, cool. How wonderful was it?
It was so good. It couldn't have been. I don't think it could have been better. I mean, they put on a hell of a show. And I just got to say, Mick Jagger is 78, and he just runs around. He hasn't lost a step. And that stage was as wide as Heinz Field. And then, like, the runway part of it came out to about the 40-yard line, I would say. And he just ran around that, all over it, butt sticking out, same moves that Tina Turner taught him. And just in his glory. I mean, and Keith and Ron, they were having fun. They were smiling. They were happy. It was good. The crowd was like working-class crowd. Everybody was into it. It was a really good experience. Good weather. I mean, just perfect.
Oh, I'm happy for you. Happy for all of you. I know the last time I saw him, which couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 years ago, the last time they were here. He was just, you're right. He runs up and down that, the ramp and then all around the stage. And even then, so he was 70, whatever. He was over 70.
There were a couple of Pittsburgh moments. He said he had been in between songs. He said he had been working a lot and he didn't have time to go to the Warhol and stare at himself, which everybody laughed. And then they played here in 1964. I think it's called the Grove or something like that. And up on the screen they put a flyer from that show, and all the band was like wearing suits, and they were. And Mick said, "I hope nobody's." Yeah, I hope nobody climbed under the fence to get here tonight. I think that happened at that concert. That concert, which
well,
was
they
fun.
were, yeah. That there were very few people at that concert, I think.
Oh,
right?
Okay. Oh, and they made up for it yesterday. Yeah, it looked pretty full. I mean, pretty full.
Great.
And then here's a bit of trivia for you. Do you remember in the 80s when Mick was dating that model, Jerry Hall?
Well, yeah, sure. He married her, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yes, he married her. They had kids, but you know who she's married to now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. I can't even believe it.
No, I know. No, she's married and has been for some time to friggin' Murdoch.
Yep.
That's a journey. That's a journey of the vagina. Oh my God. Yeah.
Well, what do you get a sense that
if that vagina could write a book?
Yeah.
That's seen a lot.
Well, if you think that Rupert Murdoch has actually managed to copulate with Jerry Hall, you got to be out of your mind.
Oh, really? I don't know how old he is. He's okay.
Even with
he's in his 80s, health. But Viagra, dear Lynn.
Stop.
Yeah, there's a pill for that. Yeah.
Right, of course.
Anyway,
it's a man's world. Well, thank you,
right.
Mary. I do appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. Yeah, if you got Jerry Hall's ultimate aphrodisiac is obviously money and power.
Right, and little squirts. Isn't Murdoch teeny? No, I meant men as a group. They were that was an unintended but obvious double entendre.
All right, okay. So I don't know. I don't know if he's tiny. Gigi says you and Susan are in rare form this morning. I think she means positively. What a great show. I particularly loved it when Susan said she wanted to order a man around. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will. And see, remember, Susan started by saying that she was felt hungover, but she's obviously having a good time. Yeah,
well, you know me. I meet every bit of adversity with by cracking a joke, and I'm actually feeling much better. It works.
Okay, Joe wrote in, and I shop at Vagina Eagle. What? The giant eagle? Yes, and you know how it often says sent from my iPhone? This says sent from my sockless big toe. Joe, that's just great.
See, there's all this pent-up merriment out there with no place to go.
Oh, God. Roger writes, we call the person who delivers our mail, whom we assume has a vagina, the female man. Oh, and then he says, do you consider the word she a derivative of he?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
We really need to start over.
Yeah, no, we do have to start. Language is the biggest culprit. I mean, it is the original. If you want to talk systemic racism, it's all embedded in our language, as is systemic misogyny. It's embedded in our language. And so to get it out of the culture is impossible because it's reinforced every time you speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that killed the mood.
No, I'm sorry. I was reading something.
You were reading. Okay. I should have kept talking.
I was
longer.
listening to the Philadelphia Inquirer's Will Bunch, who was at the concert last night. He says, I'm posting this after finally crossing off one of the top 5 items on my bucket list. Having seen Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones, the world's greatest rock and roll band actually seemed to get younger as the grueling 2-hour show progressed. So by the closing fireworks aided satisfaction, they'd regained their inner 1965. I need to learn that trick. Well, part of it is, you stay, I guess, you keep moving, and they really move.
Well,
if you look at their faces, there's no Botox in those faces.
No, and I find when I start, like I boxed yesterday, so when I was boxing, one of the first 20 minutes, my legs feel like they're 70, my arms don't know how to punch, my hips don't know what to, at minute about 35, I am a machine and I feel great. And at the end of the hour, I could do another half an hour.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That is what happens.
So that's a good reason to push through the first parts of your moving when you think, oh, I can't do this. Just keep going. Yeah, you can. And then it gets fun. Yeah. Oh, God. I was going to do all this talk on Facebook stuff.
I know. It didn't happen.
Well, it didn't. Things just happened instead, which is okay. There'll be more Facebook stuff after this, I'm belching, after this hearing.
Well, and when we have, something more to say, let's see what she has to, it's very difficult, this stuff, because, so it's there. The question remains, what do you do about it? One of the things she's talking about is that she got mad when the committee that she was functioning on, that was actually working to stop a lot of this misinformation, was disbanded the minute after the election, when the whole new slew of misinformation came down, and they knew it,
and led to January 6th.
But they had already immediately disbanded. She was basically out of that job, not out of work, but out of that job. and she began to decide that maybe they weren't sincere. Is that the essence of her feelings about this?
She's got a lot to say, which is why when we get done, I'm turning on the.
Yeah. I've been monitoring it.
And I just want to share, if I can, this a Q&A that was done on the Atlantic using the person I'm quoting is their reporter who has covered Facebook for forever. And it's interesting some of what she has to say about the shutdown yesterday. She says the web isn't just fragile, because we don't think of it as fragile. The web isn't just fragile, it's wholly ephemeral. We get a false sense of permanence from these tech giants with their huge platforms. But the truth is that nothing lasts online, and it's all decaying all the time. Nevertheless, an outage this severe is almost unheard of. And then she says the ripple effect can be profound. And here is the first thing she comes up with is fascinating to me. The first thing she thinks of what happened when Facebook went down and WhatsApp and all the rest. She says a massive, if temporary, shift in the attention of billions of people has cultural consequences. Whoa! Now, you realize that all anyone wants and what power is in this technological age is attention. Facebook wants your attention. All of these places need our attention. Marketers want our attention. And what happened is billions of people who normally would have their attention in this one place were set adrift. And she thinks, who knows? Everyone reacted in a different way. Do you think that's the first thing that came to her mind? Is she said maybe people took note of their own reflexive habits, their relationships to these sites. Maybe a few people found respite. Who knows? Right?
Yeah.
I can't go there. I might actually have to live my life. And the thing about Facebook that I've come to realize is like cigarettes, it is intentionally, the whole business model is
addictive. Yeah.
That is correct. It is addictive. And we all are addicted to at certain levels. The fact that I note, if I like, I'm on Twitter, I don't do much, but every once in a while I'll tweet something. If people like say, "Oh, I like that," or they respond, I feel good. It's like Pavlov's dogs. You put something out there, and then if strangers like it, you are rewarded. If they don't like it, you can be brought down. It's the oddest, craziest kind of thing, but it's wholly addictive. And I think I saw in her prepared remarks, one of the things that she was going to say was this, quote, "When we as a nation realized tobacco companies were hiding the harms their product caused, the government took action. When we figured out cars were safer with seatbelts, the government took action. I implore you to do the same here." She sees Facebook as every bit as damaging to us, our children, our democracy, you name it, more so, I think, than cigarettes were. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because it affects a much larger group than smokers and even secondhand smokers. It's.
Well, look what it's done to our politics. Look what it's done. It's helped. This whole division thing couldn't have happened.
Well, and it's all based on what you just described, those clicks. And what they figured out was that, moderation doesn't get you clicks. It's the outrageous end sides that get it, that get the clicks. So it's yanked political speech to the more radical at each end.
That is correct. And if you look again at the business model, it is about addiction and addicting us, and they've been wildly successful. But the other thing is that the business model essentially amplifies the worst aspects of human nature. And by doing that, Mark Zuckerberg gets obscenely rich.
Yeah, well, apparently he lost $7 billion yesterday.
Big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Drop in the bucket.
He did not notice.
Big fucking deal.
And I'm sure he's got 3 million of it already back today, 3 billion of it already back today.
But there's a piece in the business section of the Times today saying, a guy, I don't know if it's hopeful thinking or wishful thinking, he says he looks at Facebook and he sees a kind of slow, steady decline. And he points out that when Facebook did, some of what the whistleblower, put out there is they, did due diligence, seeing how young people felt about Facebook, yada, yada, yada. And one of the quotes they got is from an 11-year-old who said, "Facebook is for old people."
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a death. That'd be a death knell. That's a death sentence. And the reason they're going after younger and younger people is right. Facebook is now for old people. Nevertheless, it's still one of the most influential, obviously, companies in the world. I'm going to start coughing now, and I have a feeling I'm not going to stop. Okay, but we're done.
Okay. Yes, we are done. So I'll say goodbye.
No, wait a minute. I want to congratulate you that after a very shaky start,
I finished strong, don't you think? 0 in the second half.
Yeah, totally 0. So there were only 4. I thought we were going to get up to 10 at the rate you were going there early in the game, but there are only 4. So I congratulate you. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I try to always improve.
That's good. That is always good.
There's always room for a lot of growth in my life. Okay.
Yeah, God knows in all of us. Okay, Sue, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. And for you guys, thank you as well. And bye.
Lynn Cullen Live, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. and archived at pghcitypaper.com. The opinions expressed on Lynn Cullen Live are those of the host and do not necessarily reflect the viewpoints of Pittsburgh City Paper or its advertisers.